Welcome back to iHeartRadio. So bad it's good. Today, we have two people. They're just great. There's no bad in there. They're just great. And I got to highlight a show that I admitted a couple of weeks ago when I talked to Anisha that I am ignorant because I just started watching this show in the third season. But it's okay because the first two seasons are so easy to binge. You can find them on the Bravo app. You can find them on your DirecTV, your DVR. It's all there. It is a lovely weekend to spend because this is a great, great show. And the two people that we're about to talk to had one of the best journeys I've seen on reality television in so long. So I got to highlight the show. And the show, of course, is Family Karma. But we have two people today. I mean, newly married. I mean, who knows? We haven't seen the actual season finale yet. So who knows if they actually are, but I'm guessing something tells me that they are. So for the first time on So Bad It's Good, Amrit and Nicholas, welcome to So Bad It's Good.
Hey, Ryan. So nice being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, letting us tell more of our story.
Oh my God. I mean, that's what I think is so beautiful is that this is why I love reality shows is I love like the cheating and the lying and all of that stuff. But I also love relationships and real relationships. And you guys have one. You've been together for over 11 years now. Is that right?
Yeah, we met in 2011, Ryan, and we have done it all in our relationship. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, we've had our time apart, we got back together, we've done it all.
The fighting, the screaming, the kicking, we've had it all.
But the thing that you don't expect in any relationship is that it would ever be on reality television, right?
Yeah, I know, right? It was not in my wildest dreams that we would be able to tell our story on a network like Bravo. So
when we got back together after my graduate degree at NYU, he came to me and said, I've got this other piece of information to tell you, and it's that I'm starting a reality show. And I'm not gonna lie, my heart kind of sank. It just wasn't what I saw in the cards for myself. And as you can see throughout each season, I'm 100% on board with it, and I'm 100% supportive of what he wants to do, because that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you really, really do see all of that. I just think for a relationship that's been there this long, Family Karma started in 2017 or 2018. It's just not the normal thing that you have to deal with in an actual relationship. So I think it's another hurdle on top of the hurdles you guys have already faced with everything. This season 3, you guys, for those who are not watching, which I'm saying you can correct that really quickly, is that we do follow, we saw your engagement, which was beautiful. We saw that as season 2, and then season 3, it's all about, we're leading up to your wedding. And I got to tell you, like they had the penultimate episode where it's like, okay, families are meeting, we're meeting the people, your aunt walking you down the aisle. And then the Super Bowl happened, and I didn't get to watch I was like, that's my Super Bowl. I don't care about sports. And now we have to wait until Sunday. I mean, I'm kind of really excited and really scared. Can you tease what we potentially will see in the finale, good and bad?
So everything is going to come to a climax. And this is not just a climax of throughout the season. This is a climax of things that have been going on in our loved ones' minds for the past decade. And you're going to see all of that kind of burst out into the open. It's a really, really raw and somewhat difficult conversation to watch, but it is an incredibly important and impactful conversation to watch.
I think there are so many dynamics at play between Amrit and I as future husbands, now husbands, between Amrit and his parents, as being a gay child. And there were certain things that had never been discussed that can only bubble up for so long before they come to a head. And you get to see all of that on camera. And I don't think that's been done before, where you just see these super emotional conversations, and they're difficult to watch, but at the same time, viewers will see how much love and respect is there.
Yeah, you will, Ryan. And I told my mom, I remember when we first started working on reality TV and I started talking to her about it, she almost asked me, oh, so this is kind of like Full House. And I said, well, not Not quite, Ma. It's not gonna be Full House. There's no script. It's unscripted. This is our lives. And I said, Ma, I need you to be honest with whatever you're feeling while we're doing this show together. I just want you to be honest, the good, the bad, the ugly, because then that's the only way people resonate with you is when you're being honest and you're not producing yourself for the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's, I mean, but also that's why I think people love your parents too on the show. And that's why I think the parents on Family Karma, you guys listening, are so great. I mean, the parents shine. It's really funny. It's like, it's hysterical. And it's the one show I was watching an episode with my mom, and she was just like, oh, I could do reality television. And I'm like, no, you couldn't, Mom. You could not do reality television. Off topic really quickly, but yesterday was Valentine's Day. How did you guys spend Valentine's Day?
We had planned on doing a couple's mani-pedi and then dinner. Our plans were a little bit foiled.
I ended up having a really, really busy day with work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, went late, but we both got our separate haircuts.
We did get haircuts, and then we ordered from a new, a restaurant in our neighborhood that's new to us, a fun Portuguese restaurant.
We got some wonderful seafood. He
Yeah.
got a salmon, I got the snapper, and we
Yep.
shared an octopus starter. And
Yeah.
honestly, Ryan, going out to dinner on Valentine's Day, you're like waiting for your table. It's so crowded.
Yeah.
So we ordered in, we stayed on the couch, we watched TV, and it was wonderful. We had a glass of rosé.
Yep,
'Cause
which
it's-
is
'cause it's pink.
atypical for during the week.
So I live in Los Angeles, and at like 5 o'clock, I had to go to a grocery store, and it was so funny because it was just dudes lined up for flowers. It was like people last minute buying flowers, and it was funny. Hey, did you guys honeymoon directly after this ceremony, or because that's the end of the season?
We haven't gone on our honeymoon yet. You know, Buenos Aires and Chile they still are calling, and
Ryan, there was so much happening again because it wasn't just a wedding, it was a televised wedding. So just coming off of that, it took us some time. There was no way either of us had it in our bandwidth to go directly on an international trip. I mean, Ryan, it was, when I say there was a lot off our shoulders after we were done with the wedding, there really was. So we did take a mini moon to Puerto Vallarta, the gay mecca of Mexico.
yeah,
Did that for a long weekend, a few days during the week, but we are planning our like full-blown honeymoon.
yeah.
Well, I mean, just having the cameras stop rolling is probably a honeymoon, and especially after that stressful everything that's going around. I was thinking about this in terms of, and I'm asking some serious questions, you guys, but I want to also point out the show is so fun and funny and just full of life. I do think it's funny that in the last episode I was watching, it's cutting to your serious scenes, and then they would cut to a scene where people are doing improvisation, and I was like, that's not fair. You guys are doing improv over here. What's it like though to not only represent Indian culture and show this in a way that Westernized audiences have sometimes not seen, and you guys are showing that to everybody, but also then representing gay culture. I mean, that's so much pressure on both fronts. How has that felt for you, Amrit, and for both of you guys?
So why don't I'll take the Indian culture component, and why don't he can do the gay component. So for Indian culture, I think, Ryan, this is time capsule content that we are providing viewers with right now. This will never happen ever again because, myself and my other castmates, we are the firstborn generation Indians in America. After this, all our kids will be second, third, fourth, fifth. That tug of war, that struggle between trying to conform to the Indian tradition while at the same time living our American dream, it's never going to be like this. So it's when you think about it, it's so unique, the content that we're filming, and it'll never happen again. But it puts a lot of pressure. I tell people, I tell fans, and I love that, like, I joke around, if you run into an Indian on the street, 90% chances they see the show and they love the show. And that makes me so happy because going into it, I was nervous. I said, this is the first time we're going to have an all Indian cast on television. We're not talking about the one guy who's really smart from Big Bang Theory. We're not talking about the one guy on The Simpsons who owned the gas station, which, listen, entertaining, but they all were stereotypes of Indians in America. Yeah. This was the first time. So it was nervous. I wanted to make sure that we were accurately representing our community, that people were relating to our stories. And so far, the feedback I've gotten is that we've done just that.
Yeah, you really have. And then Nicholas, in terms of like I just can't imagine what it's like to, like already, live your lives, but then also like, by the way, you're also representing gay people everywhere. Like that's got to be insane. What's that like for you?
I think that what viewers really see is that gay people are just ordinary people too. And sure, there are lots of stereotypes that many of us fulfill. On one of these episodes, I reveal that with my Aunt Terry, she was safe, and whenever she would come visit as a kid, I would do her hair.
Yeah, you told this really nice story about brushing her hair, and a kid doesn't know what the word ally is, but you knew that she was in your corner, and I thought that was like a lovely, quick story, just summing up that feeling.
But then there are other hobbies that have consumed my life. I love to learn foreign languages. I teach native Spanish speakers how to read and write. I speak French and some German and some Portuguese. But what viewers can see is that gay people have so many different varied interests, and that there's way more that you can connect on with us than is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah, I bought a greeting card that said, love makes a relationship work, gender is inconsequential. And I truly believe that. And I hope this is an opportunity for the greater community, gay and straight, to relate to our story, to relate to the fact that we're an interracial couple, because we have a lot of heterosexual fans that have reached out and said, I felt the same sort of struggles and issues that you're feeling with. And that has nothing to do with being gay.
Yeah, it's really rewarding to get DMs from other Indian heterosexual couples saying, I'm Punjabi and my husband is Gujarati, and our customs were really different. And I totally understand what you were going through. And that wouldn't necessarily have been exactly who I thought would have been, not commiserating, but identifying with our story. Yeah. But it really just speaks to how much greater of an audience, Family Karma can reach than what we thought.
That's why I think this is one of the most important shows on Bravo. And it would be a huge shame if it does not come back for a fourth season. And that's why I really do want to scream this from the rooftops, you guys, is that you can watch this at any point. I will keep hitting that point home. I just was hearing you talk about teaching languages, and you're a lawyer and all that. Like, what's it like to be smart, you guys? What's that like? Is that fun? is it, you guys seem like you're highly functioning. What's that like? I can't go there with you on that. I can't reckon, but it sounds fun. It sounds like you guys are doing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that I'm like brilliant. I feel like intelligence is so subjective. Like, here, Ryan, if you ask me to read a case or a statute, sure, I'm a lawyer by trade. I could do that. But like random, like the news, I'm clueless. He's very good about NPR. He listens every morning religiously to the NPR podcast. He knows exactly what's going on.
Is Up First? You listen to Up First every morning? Is that the podcast?
I do Morning Edition, and then I watch the PBS hour too.
But I am clueless.
I love that.
Literally clueless when it comes to that stuff. So I think it's all subjective.
Speaking of subjective, is that actually, to your point earlier, the thing that I just keep trying to get this audience to come on the journey of this show. But you're right, though. I was watching you guys. Nicholas, you were telling them they're putting gift bags together with your family, and I was like, there's more similarities in all of us, like the Indian culture aspect of it. Like I think there's this natural tendency for all of us to be scared of things that we don't know, which sounds ridiculous. But then you watch this and you're like, oh my God, like my parents are like that. Oh my God, my parents. And then you're like, oh wow. And it's like really comforting to know that, like, okay, well, this is extremely positive because there's so much that we have alike, whether it be sexuality, race, ethnicity. There's so much to build on. And I think that's what this show celebrates. So it's really exciting. Could you take us back 11 or 12 years now? What was the first meeting like with you guys? Because that is a really lengthy amount of time. What was it in that moment? And could you ever see it going this long?
This is a fun story.
I was out celebrating transitioning from public accounting to working in an audit, working at a bank in their audit department. And I was with a friend, and I saw Amrit come through the door through the smoke. Through
Okay,
the
well,
fog.
let me paint some more. Let me give you some more context.
Let me cut in.
We weren't at like a Britney Spears concert, so
Yeah.
it was 2 days before. It's 2 days before Christmas,
That's right.
and I'm at a holiday party, and I had just moved to Chicago, maybe 3 months before that. And Ryan, when I say I moved to Chicago, I had I recently came out. I was finally semi-comfortable in my skin, and I thought I was going to be the city girl skipping down the streets of Chicago. I barely knew the neighborhood, Boys Town. But I did know that there was this one gay bar called Berlin. We actually met at Berlin, and I joke, not Berlin, Germany, Berlin on Belmont in Chicago, the late night bar, because it's open till 5 a.m. on Saturdays. And I was with a friend, a very close friend of mine who was visiting. And after the holiday party, we're like, let's go out. Let's have a nightcap. And that's how we went to Berlin.
Yeah.
And he was there with his friend. I was there with my friend. And I was actually holding a guy's hand who met me at the bar to go to the dance floor and to do PG-13 stuff.
Leaving room for the Holy Spirit or whatever, you
We did.
vow
That's
to,
yeah, that's why I locked eyes on him, and it's blurry because there was fog, and also blurry because we had a few cocktails.
Yeah.
And
I recognized him immediately from a profile on OkCupid, the dating app. And I was like, this guy's so cute. So we started to talk, and I gave him my contact information, and I put my full name in his phone correctly, which, at that hour of the night, Nicholas Kouchoukos, that's a lot of letters. But I did not.
you put the last name in too? You didn't just put C?
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm real formal.
when Brian, we really like you, so I'm gonna give you a special treat. I actually have them. So he put his correct full name, he put his wrong number. There was a digit off. So I texted that number and it didn't go through. So I think on December 19th,
He looked for me and found me on
I found him on Facebook, and I still have the message from December 19th, 2007. And he says, Amrit, you remembered me. I had a blast at Berlin on Saturday, so I guess I didn't scare you off. And I won't read the rest of it.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Oh wow. God, imagine if you had not sent that message. Imagine if you and God, and how dare you spelled the whole last name right, but you didn't spell your number and you didn't put your number in right. That's insane. If and when they do a fourth season, what do you hope to focus on for your storyline? Are you hoping to do improvisation next season? Are you like, because it's been so intense for you this season, what would you hope? Would you hope to be able to get the lighter side of married life, or what are you facing now?
I had said to Amrit, if we do have the opportunity for a season 4, I am so looking forward to lighthearted conversations, being able to talk about our relationship with my parents, just positive things and exciting things, not super heavy.
Though on the flip side, Ryan, we are obviously trying to have a kid, and
that's what I was gonna,
to be difficult moments throughout that process. And we've accepted that there are going to be culture clashes until the very end.
What are you talking about? What are you? It's not all fixed now. Not everything's not fixed now that you're married.
I know how Indian parents are with a child bringing up a child, and so we just need to be mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
But we want, less stress, no wedding planning. Wedding planning was one of the most stressful things I've ever done, and I've taken 2 bar examinations. So none of that, hopefully.
Did you pass the bar on the first time, or were you?
No, I took Illinois in 2011 the first time, and I took Florida a couple years ago, passed for the first time.
Jeez. What were you about to say, Nicholas?
We also have recently started to discuss home ownership, so that's a possible exciting avenue for us to pursue. There's just lots of big milestones that
I'm gonna put some gas in my car today. That's home ownership. What's that like? I'll put like $20 a gas. That's amazing. You did bring up your parents, and I don't want to hit on this too much because we've seen we've seen how intense it's been because your parents did not want to be on camera, and they, there were some certain issues with the marriage that I think really all of our hearts went out to you, even though it doesn't make your, they had very specific wishes, and they're not there to speak for themselves. How slippery of a slope was that for you to maneuver, not only in your love for him, but also, your love for your family and all of these things, and standing up for what you want and what you believe. It just my heart just kept going towards you in a lot of these scenes. What was that like?
I think this is one instance where it was really rewarding to be able to watch the episodes And you don't see my parents, but I know where they are in the frames, and if the camera is on me, I can reimagine where they were. It's rewarding to know that they showed up, and they gave their support.
Yeah.
I talked to my mom this past weekend or 2 weeks ago about the most recent episode that aired before the Super Bowl. And it was really difficult for her to watch. And she said, Nicholas, your dad and I walked away really hurt, thinking that viewers have this impression that you grew up in a house with no love. And that just couldn't be any further from the truth. I grew up in an incredibly loving household. I talked to my parents every day. They came and visited Miami for 3 weeks over the Thanksgiving holiday.
That's too long. That's way too long. That shouldn't have been
Yeah,
3 weeks. That is way too long.
They were really smart and realistic. They said, let's do 3 weeks. Can you also get an Airbnb for us? And we'll
okay, there you
we'll go back and forth between your place and the Airbnb. And it worked out perfectly. We're just in a really good space with my parents.
Yeah,
we really are.
I love that.
Wonderful, kind people, so generous.
Um,
Like you said, we're in a really great place.
Yeah. It's nice we're past all of the wedding stuff. And in hindsight, there was a lot of worry and there was a lot of fear, but they stepped up. And my mom said, Nicholas, there's no way that we would abandon you. There's no way that we're not going to be some kind of support to you.
I love that. Yeah. No, and I didn't mean it to say that I understand, I guess, their trepidation in a way, and you do point that out, but it's really good to hear all of that as well. And life is long, and your relationship is long, and things just go, there's so many ups and downs in life in general. Moving away from your storylines over the course of Family Karma, what have been your favorite storylines of your other cast members? Is there things that you're like, and you have natural relationships with them, but how they're painted on like Anisha, I was like we still haven't met her dude, and we know she's married. And we kind of took a dip out on her when I'm like, I want to see that relationship. Was there any kind of like, well, damn, we're showing everything. You got to show something, Anisha. Come on.
There is. I understand where Anisha's coming from, because I do understand that she had gotten out of a really long-term serious relationship and it didn't go the way she wanted it to go. So she's being really hesitant with this one. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate, she had said when they were married, we would meet him, and we still haven't met him. And eventually, he can't live under a rock.
It's a tough one. I can understand her hesitation. But the rest of us are out there putting our lives out.
Vishal and Richa, just like we are. Vishal and Richa have gotten the brunt of it, and people love to. Now, listen, if you signed up for reality TV, you signed up to be judged by the outside world, and you signed up to have Twitter hate you, and you signed up for people to be in your business, because that's reality TV.
And that's on a good day. You want people to be in your business, that you're like, okay, good. Yeah. Let's get into it with me so people know about the show. By the way, just so the season 3 opened with Vishal and Risha, like they had just got married. And then it's been like this really insane journey leading up to this. And I think there's so much room for season 4 though, which I'm so excited about. How's your dog, you guys?
Oh, he's good. Where is?
Come here. Yeah.
Oh, he's back there.
I don't want to. He's like, no, I don't want to be on TV. Please.
Back to your question about which storyline from a cast member. Interesting that you brought up Anisha, because she was the first person who came to mind. It is really fun to watch your peers be in their element and demonstrate their professional expertise and just all of their knowledge. And watching Anisha during her fashion show, it was really cool. It was really fun, and it was a big honor to be able to participate in the fashion show and just watch her excel.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really cool.
It is. You can see she's honestly, I will say, she's glowing. As much as I'm like, I need to meet your husband, you can see that she's glowing. She's happier, and I am thrilled that she's found her person. And I truly am. We've had our differences in the past. Anisha, if you're listening, I genuinely am happy for you.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I love this reality show in particular because you really do know there's real relationships. There's a foundation which is very real, and I think the viewers can tell that immediately, and that's why this works. You had a 13 episode season this season, which is your longest season to date. Seasons 1 and 2, way fewer episodes, but I'm glad that Bravo continues to tell the story. In terms of working with Bravo, I know you were at BravoCon, I believe. Has it been interesting to meet the other Bravo celebrities? And do you guys watch other Bravo shows where you were even aware that you're around other Bravo celebrities?
Yeah, it was a BravoCon was a blast. It feels like a dream.
It really was. It was
feels
so
like a
much fun.
dream.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I would call us Bravo babies, and maybe not babies anymore. We're kind of Bravo's toddlers
Yeah.
in our season 3. But I mean, we're certainly not, Potomac or Atlanta. I mean, I remember sitting in a green room and Cynthia Bailey walked in.
Yeah.
She looked like a goddess from the heavens.
I said to, oh my gosh, that's the woman from Housewives of Atlanta, and I know Cynthia's name, but in the moment I just froze. And when I introduced myself, she was like, "Well, I'm Cynthia Bailey," and it was like, "Oh."
And I remember I fangirled for one, and I promised myself, I said, Amrit, you're gonna fangirl for one Bravo celebrity and one Bravo celebrity only. Can you guess which one? Her name starts with a K, her last name starts with an H.
Oh, I was gonna say Candy.
Our favorite Kathy. And I
Kathy.
And I said,
I thought you were Kyle.
I said, I need to take a picture with you. But honestly, it really, when they say Bravo, the Bravo TV shows, it's a family, it really is one big Bravo family, because everyone is just so nice. Everyone's willing to talk to you. We hung out with the VPR guys. I was with Tom Sandoval Saturday night until like 2:00 in the morning. Ariana, all the
people from Summer House and Winter House, they're always so kind to us. That's really
Were you able to keep up with their drinking? Were you able to
not VPR? Some of them.
I love did Kathy Hilton, who did Kathy, I'm picturing I'm wondering who Kathy Hilton thought you were. You were like, "Oh, you're my sister Kyle." That's great.
Yeah, she probably thought we're fans.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of BravoCon though, that must have been nice to see so much love too, because there were so many Bravo fans and people that have really just like supported your show and all of Bravo. It's just really nice. I think those kind of, I thought it was going to be a mess leading up to it, and it was just such a positive vibe that whole weekend with everybody just freaking out and so excited to meet everybody.
Yeah, it was. We had people at BravoCon, and we've had people in the past DMs telling us that they've been able to come out to their family and to their loved ones after watching our show, and to have that kind of an impact is just, I mean,
it makes it all worth it. It really does. That's the most rewarding part of the show.
Yeah, it really,
someone else's, trajectory with their sexuality. That's a.
Yeah, and I mean, this is all just and if you had not done that Facebook message, you'd have so many people not being able to live their lives authentically. I thank you guys so much for your time today. Hopefully, you'll come back at some point. I really want there to be a 4th season. I want to continue following your journey. You guys are great people and such a good representation, for Indian culture, but also just marriage, not screw gay marriage, but just like you guys are just such a great couple. And I think, especially in this week when we celebrate love, it has been great to talk to you guys. Family Karma ends for this season Sunday, but you can watch all of the episodes, and I'm telling you, you can do this all in one weekend. Just don't have any friends or family, but just get through all of them and find out how this journey ends, because I'm really, really nervous for Sunday to come around, because I have not seen it yet, and I'm dying to. And then go check out their Instagram post, you guys, because I was on his Instagram post of the wedding photo, and there's like 30 vendors, like everybody was the vendor. I was like, oh my God, this seems like so much to like put together. There was so many vendors.
It was an army for sure.
It was an army.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, you guys, and have a great rest of your year. If I don't talk to you, it's just been such a pleasure.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. It was a pleasure.
Have a good one.